So in this video, I want to talk about the viral video that Izzy Davis uploaded. It was a video entitled, "I'm So Sorry." Now, most of you have probably seen this video. It has almost 1 million views. The last time I checked earlier this morning, had over 800,000 views.
So I'm sorry, Charles, but I'm to disagree with you on this right out of the gate. I do not feel like the Izzy Davis "I'm Sorry" video is truly viral yet. I just feel like 900K... I feel like it's pretty typical now for a video to make rounds on Facebook and get 4 million views. So, you know, does it stack up yet to what I would consider to be a truly viral video? I don't think it's quite there yet. But personally, I didn't find the video too impactful. But the thing that I did find really interesting about it is when you read the comments, you notice a trend. You notice a pattern. What I picked out was that it seems like every other person who's commented on it has basically written the same thing. That they're mystified as to how this video showed up in their recommendations. It seems they're not waking up in the morning and deciding that they're going to binge on veganism anorexia videos. Go figure. The other thing that's interesting about it is that it would indicate to me that a lot of people are watching this simply because they see it in their recommendations and they're like, what is this? Why would YouTube's algorithm somehow think I want to watch this? So they're just watching out of curiosity and maybe a little bit of annoyance, and yeah, so it's getting that kind of response. But what this really, and every now and then I get something like this, but what this like kind of shows me is that like I know so little about YouTube. I have so much to learn. I don't know shit. The chasm between me and the big YouTubers who are really tapped into everything is gigantic. For some people, I can see how that would make the whole situation seem hopeless. Like, just give up. You'll never get there. The difference is too great. But for me personally, it makes the whole thing a little bit more interesting. Like, there's so much frontier for me to explore. So much I haven't seen. So much to go through. So much to learn. So that's been good. It's good to have that every now and then. To refresh your jets and stuff like that. So thank you for that, Izzy D.
This video alone has done more to, I guess, denounce the ideologies of Raw Till 4 and what it stands for. And in one moment, this video has basically represented the fact that Raw Till 4 is dead.
I don't know, Charles. You really think Izzy Davis is bringing the biting criticism? You really think she's been that reflective on the whole experience?
My heart hurts a little bit that I am leaving Chiang Mai today. You know when, like, you're sad and you feel like your chest actually hurts?
I mean, compared to what you did this summer, Charles, and everyone did, really. Just making all the videos taken down freely, taking down Durian Rider, all that controversy this summer. You really think this video does more than all that stuff that happened over the summer? You really think that's more influential? I mean, is this video even that unique, Charles? I mean, you're going to sit there and you're going to tell me that I can't look up veganism, eating disorder, and find 1 million of these kind of videos? I don't know, Charles. It may be helping you make a point, but I don't know. Otherwise, it seems kind of like cannon fodder. Kind of typical. Just enhanced by the YouTube algorithm or something that made everyone watch it.
This video represents the idea that there are many women that are hiding in the shadows of veganism and masking their eating disorders and their mental illness with a diet.
Now, this one I'll actually agree with Charles on. Because I do think there's something to be said about veganism masking eating disorders. But I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. Keep going, Charles.
So February, I was planning to go to Thailand with my boyfriend Jackson, and we were going to meet Freely and Durian Rider. I decided I was gonna sort of go into a little like cutting phase of like slimming down for the summer, just like something subconsciously was like, I want to look good when I meet these people.
This is why I said this video represents the end of Raw Till 4. Izzy is talking about how she wanted to look good for Freely and Durian Rider and look good for all the high carbers that were at the Thai Fruit Festival or the Bike Festival, whatever you want to call it now. Izzy herself is describing almost like a psychosis where she was obsessed with looking a certain way to appease people that she's never even met before, or maybe she's met them, you know, in passing. It's not like she's really good friends with these people. It's not like she's known them for a long time. These are people that she's seen on social media, and the images that they push and try to portray of veganism and a vegan lifestyle has influenced her to the point where she was willing to start restricting her calories and try to get in, you know, top-notch bikini body shape so that she can go to Thailand and hang out with these people to be cool or to be accepted. Almost like a psychosis. Psychosis.
So I'm sorry, Charles, I'm gonna have to disagree with you hard on this one. You really think that's an example of a psychosis, man? Someone wanting to go meet people they never met before and look good? You're really gonna connect that to a psychosis? Some kind of mental condition associated with the black magic of the Rot Till 4 movement? I mean, let's take you for example. You're gonna sit there and tell me that when you went to LA, you didn't maybe put in a little bit extra effort to maintain the aesthetics? To maybe lose a couple pounds? You didn't try a little bit harder than you normally would have? Especially considering who you might see.
Happy Healthy Cheetah. That's
Happy Healthy Cheetah, we're working on that. I'm trying to get happy and I'm trying to get healthy, but...
I mean, there was a time when Izzy admittedly wasn't on that great terms with Durin Rider and Freely.
And this was when me and Durin Rider, like, had beef. Like, he was saying shitty things about me on Tumblr.
I mean, before you went to LA and you hadn't met Happy Healthy Vegan, there was a time when you were on great terms with them either.
Happy Healthy Vegan just banned me from commenting on their YouTube channel. Ryan definitely was not very happy about me criticizing some of the content in his latest video.
Tank top!
For the ladies here.
I hope it's big enough.
Oh, I'm sure it is. It looks great. It looks fantastic.
So, I mean, can you really blame someone for, you know, when you're going to go meet these people for the first time and maybe, you know, it's been a little bit tense in the past, to want to, like, put a good foot forward? To want to look your best? To want to be impressive? I mean, one of the powers that we hold, that we share with someone like Izzy Davis, who does a lot of training and does cycling and pole dancing, whatever stuff she does, is that we can control calories. We understand calories in and out in a bigger way than we understand a lot of other things in our lives. Losing 10 pounds, that's a snap for us. We can do that anytime we want. It takes nothing. It takes no effort to do that. I'm going to a convention in 2 weeks. I'm going to be on stage. I'm going to be in the costume contest. I'm already trying to lose 10 pounds. And it's going to happen. Might not quite get there, but I'll get pretty close. I'll get as close as I need to be. Not too strict on things right now. But that's something we can really do. We can really take advantage of that. Can you really blame someone for that? For having that idea in their head at the least? Just think the other things we do because we can do stuff like that, man. Because we're into this whole physical fitness stuff. I mean, right now, I'm wearing a tank top with the image of a bodybuilder who was on all kinds of gear and died at the age of 50. I mean, a bodybuilder is supposed to be the pinnacle of health.
They're the ones who are disgusting.
No, Mike, you're smoking for 20 minutes, man. Come on.
But are they? Our idols are fucked up, man. I mean, every day when I go to the shower, I do the same thing. I always film myself a little bit before getting in the shower. Just to see how I'm looking. Just to see how I'm looking on that particular day. Some days it looks better than others. But then I get in the shower and I get out and I do the same thing again. Just because I always feel like you get out of the shower, for whatever reason, I feel like sometimes you look a little bit bigger. It's so stupid, but I totally do that. Like, is that a psychosis?
I started doing a lot of cardio exercise and just being a little bit more conscious of what I was eating. I restricted myself a little bit more than I usually do. After I came back over the summer, I was sort of obsessed with cycling. I was a little bit, just sort of addicted. For some strange reason, I kept on restricting my food. Very, very slowly going into some bad behaviors. Some negative behavior. I didn't start to really feel the effects of it until this school year started.
Her eating disorder, or falling back into the eating disorder, was actually affecting her at school. She also says in this video that she would starve herself before every meal to the point where she felt like she was about to snap, to the point where she was becoming mentally deranged. This all stems back from the fact that she wanted to go to the Thai Fruit Festival. Not only that, she wanted to look good for the gurus at the Thai Fruit Festival. Absolutely tragic. It's very, very sad.
And I don't think you did this on purpose, but I think the way you edited that clip of Izzy actually confounds part of the story. Some of it gets lost in translation there. I think you have to watch the raw footage again to get the whole thing.
I started doing a lot of cardio exercise and just being a little bit more conscious of what I was eating, and I restricted myself a little bit more than I usually do, and I lost a bit of weight into the summer, and that was supposed to be it. You know, that was supposed to be just for the trip, and I was feeling fine. Life was good. I got to Thailand. I enjoyed all the foods and thought nothing of it. Everything was fine. I was still pretty much in balance. And after I came back over the summer, I was sort of obsessed with cycling, and I was a little bit, just sort of addicted, and did a lot of it, and for some strange reason, I kept on restricting my food. And I don't really want to go into the details of how I did this because I'm ashamed of it, and I don't want to trigger anyone. I don't want to give any examples, but I was very, very slowly going into some bad behaviors, some negative behaviors, and I didn't start to really feel the effects of it until this school year started, and I've been really stressed, really busy.
See, there's some time there implied between Izzy going to Thailand and Izzy coming back, and things being ratcheted up a little bit. More than I think the way you edited that makes it seem. And again, I don't think you did it on purpose, but I think something's lost there a little bit. Other things happen. You know, life happens, man. We all have crosses to bear. Stresses crop up. Izzy talks about going back to school. That can be a real struggle. Going back to school, revisiting a significant stress, introducing it back into the equation.
February of this year, but last school year for me. I'm always thinking of life in terms of like school years. Just super, super hyper focused and obsessed with getting good grades, honestly. That is something that's always been in my life. I hyper control myself. I'm so mad at myself.
You know, that happens. That's just dealing with life. That's just the reality of, you got a cross to bear. And, there's going to be things put in your path all the time. I mean, you know about crosses to bear, Charles. I mean, you know what it's like to be an addict. I mean, is it really that extreme? Is that something that you can apply to the influence of Rot Till 4, a freely enduring rider? Or is that just something that happens to everyone? And if for people who have more serious conditions, there are more serious consequences for falling off the wagon a bit. You're always teetering. And then, it just happens.
So the cycling, of course we know that comes from the Rot Till 4 camp. Freely enduring rider and all of their minions promote cycling as the ultimate way to weight loss, and promote cycling as a form of activism. As long as you buy a bicycle and start riding your bike every single day and getting fit and showing everybody how fit and lean you are, you're doing activism on YouTube. Not only that though, they promote cycling as a way to help the planet. If you're not riding in a car and you're on a bicycle, you are an activist in that way because you're helping the planet. So there's a couple of different different factors there, and you know, we could probably do a whole separate video on the cycling element of veganism, particularly raw till 4 veganism.
I just don't get like connecting all these things, like whether you're cycling or whether you're doing all these things. Sure, that's what they do. But why can't that just be, you know, Izzy Davis spent a fun few months in the summer, and that's what she did. So she brought that back home. Why does that have to be like, oh, she was influenced and it messed her up again. It knocked her off the wagon.
If Izzy is doing this, promoting veganism, promoting a happy lifestyle, a high-carb cycling lifestyle, while at the same time masking an eating disorder, she's not the only one that's doing this. I mean, there are, I would probably estimate, thousands of girls that are doing the exact same thing.
This one I'm going to have to agree with Charles on. And if he wants to hang his hat on that this topic is an important thing to discuss, that eating disorders in general within veganism are important to discuss, I'll give him that. I'll give you that, Charles. But I think you bring up an interesting point in this. The idea of veganism being used to mask something, particularly in relation to eating disorders. Because for the longest time, I've thought that, you know, maybe I've never had an eating disorder myself, so take that for what it's worth. But I've had this idea in my head that, you know, maybe for someone who for the longest time, food has been a big negative for them, something to fear, something to control, something to hate, that veganism puts a positive spin on food in that way. That by what you're choosing to eat and the diet that you keep, that you're doing the earth some good, that you're doing yourself some good, that you're doing the animals some good. And that's a good change for someone who's had an eating disorder. The food is a happy, moral thing that they take part in. But Charles, again, specifically the idea of masking, I also wonder if maybe there's an aspect of veganism is just trading one darkness for another. I mean, literally in veganism, you reject a whole denomination of food. You literally say, I'm just not going to eat this ever again. You cut it out of your life. Is it possible that maybe that's just more of the same as far as an eating disorder goes? That maybe it's trading one extreme diet for another. That, Charles, that's definitely worth you talking about. That's definitely worth bringing to the forefront. Welcome back, Charles.
Don't want to be